You see, sphere into sphere. And anyhow, it was conceived of this place because the diameter of the outer sphere is just like the diameter of these blind arches along this courtyard. Sphere into sphere, is meaning, the technological word of today coming from the center of the earth, I don't know. You can say whatever you want in front of contemporary art. All opinions are good. All right. It is a nice work in any case. There is another one in front of the Foreign Office here in Rome, another one is in Brussels, another one in New York as well. Sphere, it is continuously cleaned, of course, otherwise it cannot remain like this. But inside it is green. And that one is the face of Octavianus, the first emperor. Also known as Augustus. Augustus is a title. It's not a name. Anyhow, he wanted always to be represented very young. You can see him. And he died when he was an old man. He wanted to be represented always as a young man. He was just like me. I placed a picture of me when I was 20 on Facebook. I'm still like that. Okay, in front of us there is another bronze icon and also a couple of bronze peacocks there and two Egyptian lions. They were part of the temple of Isis and Osiris. Here in Rome they were very tolerant to all kinds of religions during the empire, except the religions that were against the Roman Empire, at least when they thought so. For instance, the Jewish religion was very well accepted here. In Rome, in Ostia, the port of Rome, in the 2nd century BC, there was the first synagogue outside Israel. There are still, ruins there. Instead, when they started becoming, rebels against the Roman Empire, 1st century and 2nd century AD, they had to be destroyed. The imperialists couldn't accept them. And also the Christians were persecuted 3 times in 300 years. Because they didn't want to sacrifice inside temples of divinized emperors. Some emperors were divinized, not many of them, but anyhow, some of them were divinized. In that case, of course, if you didn't want to place even a bunch of incense inside there, it meant that you were against the Roman Empire. The Romans never tried to convert anybody to paganism. They were tolerant, except to the ones that they thought were against the Roman Empire. But it was for political reasons in my case, not for religious reasons. Okay, let's go in front of us and let's talk. Even Jesus, Jesus was killed, by the Romans. And on top of the cross there is the sentence, I-N-R-I. It means Jesus, Nazarenus Rex Judeorum. Jesus of Nazareth, King of the Jews. He proclaimed to be the King of the Jews. You cannot have a king. So that's why he was killed. Political reasons, not religious reasons. Okay, let's go there. And let me stop here.
So many.
And when we stop, always around me. Don't let everybody pass instead, Surround me here. Accept it to me, especially women. Okay? No, actually no, we cannot stop in the middle of course, so don't be on the way, yeah? We are a beautiful group. A big group, we are a beautiful group. Don't mix with the ugly ones. It is very easy not to find them. If someone is ugly, it's not part of our group, of course, except the girls. Except the girls. Anyhow, we're also very well known, so we never stop in the middle, this is the point. And let everybody pass when we stop. Okay. Now then, there on my left you can see there is the new wing. It is called like this. We cannot see everything, otherwise it will take a long time. Anyhow, it contains statues of the empire and also some Greek statues. The difference between the Roman and the Greek statues is that the Romans always wanted to represent realism. So the faces of the emperors are very realistic, and they also represented dwarfs, children, all people as well. Instead, the Greek ones always wanted to represent the canon of the beauty of men and women. So they represented gods, goddesses, heroes, athletes. And this is the real difference, between the Roman and the Greek statuary, of course. The Romans were very realistic. So we may recall, except, Octavian, the first emperor, all the rest, all the other emperors were represented during the age, of course. So, for instance, this one is Marcus Aurelius. We can recognize him because they need, these realistic busts of the emperors also to make coins, because they can make coins, even out of Rome, far from Rome. So they needed, a bust of the emperor to represent, the face of that emperor. And so anyhow, so we may recognize that this one is Marcus Aurelius, this one is the Emperor Hadrian, that one is an old man, that one is a child, of course, and also wives of the emperors all around here. This is the real difference between the Roman and the Greek statuary, of course, because we will see many other statues inside, that place. In front of us there is the entrance of the Pius Clementine Museum. We're going there. These frescoes were painted by Daniele da Lobuterra. Daniele da Lobuterra is the pupil of Michelangelo, painted dresses in the Last Judgment. So he was also called, the painter of the underdresses. Despising him, of course. And it is on a grotesque style. Grotesque style is a style that it was found inside grottos during the Renaissance time. And instead, there were no grottos. There were the rooms of the golden house of Nero. So it represents, an imperial style, grotesque style, and then it spread, all around, Rome and Italy as well. Let's stop there just a few seconds, because I would like to tell you something about, the museum. Letting everybody pass, of course. So, this part of the museum, this museum actually was made in the year 1782. It was built in the year 1782 by Simonetti. But here, there was already, the collection of Julius II. During the diggings of the Renaissance, the popes had a habit of showing their collection, what they found, to the people. The first collection to be shown to the people, it was on the Capitol Hill. That was the first museum in the world. This one was the second. Julius II collection. I know the Americans always want to have, just the first one. We have to accept the second in this case. Anyhow, this is what they found, there. Anyhow, in the year 1782, they built, this museum following the classical ideas. You can see, because they wanted to show, the classical statues and not just that were found during those times. So here there is the sarcophagus of Scipio Barbaros. This is the great-grandfather of Scipio the Africanus. Scipio the Africanus is the one that defeated Hannibal. Hannibal from Carthage, not Hannibal the Cannibal. Hannibal from Carthage, okay? And he was the one, that had an army in Spain. Then he passed through the Alps, with elephants and an army, and arrived here in Italy and defeated continuously the Romans. He remained 15 years in Italy. And, but he didn't attack Rome, because he thought Rome was very well defended. He said it was a mistake. Instead, the Romans are trying to recover. Then they attacked instead Carthago, King Africa, and then he had to go there to defend the capital, and then he was defeated in the end. It was the starting point of the history of Rome, because after that, Rome was aware that she was the most powerful town in the Mediterranean Sea after having defeated Hannibal, of course. Okay.